When I first found out that our lesson is all about Arnis, I remember being so nervous about it. I already had a feeling that I was going to be challenged this semester. Learning how to properly execute each Arnis exercise is definitely harder since we were simply watching a video to see each move, compared to back when I was in 7th grade where I could properly see how the teacher moves his or her body and they can easily assist each student when they have difficulty in following the moves. But I was also thrilled to learn the fundamentals and exercises once again.
Honestly, it's kind of interesting because usually when we talk about PE, it's a general topic, but for some reason there's a subject all about Arnis. So I feel like it's somewhat an important part that we should learn as a Filipino citizen.
When I found out that this semester's PE topic is all about Ernest, I thought that this semester will be quite challenging for me as it is my first time learning Ernest.
When I first learned that our PE class this semester is full of Arnis activities, I thought it would be really cool to learn this kind of martial art that was traditionally practiced by indigenous people here in our country. So I was really excited to try it out because I had never done anything like it before. I enjoyed learning this martial art because I believe that I will be able to use it in the future.
I think the problem that I often encountered was having to execute each move properly. There were some steps where I had to repeat the guide video over and over again to understand how to move my body and where my arms or legs should be positioned. It was quite tiring and time consuming, but it was worth it in the end. The other problem that I also encountered a lot was having to shoot a video with a noisy background. There were a lot of times where I'm almost done shooting a specific step, then suddenly a loud noise would be heard from the background, so I had no choice but to do a retake.
One of the problems that I encounter in Arnis is that it requires practice and skill to perform well. So you don't just see the videos or the tutorials and then learn it immediately. You really need to give time and effort to execute the proper execution in doing Arnis.
So far, I only get confused on what will be the next step of the stick exercises and also could not do the steps accurately.
The main issues I had while recording this activity were that I frequently accidentally hit the weapon in various parts of my body, but I believe this was due to the fact that I was still learning the activity and that I took a long time to learn it. But most importantly, I had I had fun with the outcome.
The strategy that I use is to watch the video over and over again and practice it before shooting. Memorizing the steps beforehand significantly decreased the time that I had to take the video. Another thing that I do is executing the entire steps again and again and taking a video of myself in order to see any mistakes. Then I'll simply correct it, take a video, see if there are any more mistakes, and so yeah, it basically is repeat until it was perfect.
Um, the strategies that I used as a student is that uh, I need to be patient because it's very hard to sometimes absorb the tutorials, the teachings on how you do specific techniques in Arnis. So patience is one thing you need. One thing I did also is that I had to analyze first before I do it. So when, let's say, there's a video that is teaching you to do Arnis, one thing that I would start to do is to analyze all the steps first, because when you just directly do it without analyzing, maybe like analyzing your feet needs, your right feet needs to go forward, your left feet needs to go backward. As I said, you need to analyze first the exact steps that how they perform the arnis. So you need to see what are the steps they use in every part of their body.
The strategy I employ to perform the skills needed in any arnis exercise is to solely practice the steps until I have the hang of it. Practicing helps me to focus and improve my arnistic skills.
The strategy that I think I applied to execute the skills needed in every activity is that I was really focused to learn and follow every strikes in our knees to present it more accurately and to execute every single steps.
I have stated this a lot, but what I learned from this lesson is obviously self-defense. Since arnis is also a martial art, learning how to defend myself and what to do in a situation is helpful, especially today where I can be in danger anytime. Even without a stick or a weapon, the movements that we did can also be executed to defend myself. Another thing is also being aware of my surroundings so that I won't be caught off guard.
Actually, one thing I could learn is do not just jump straight into it, because sometimes we are over impatient in order to get something done. So let's say in the future you might do work. So maybe just to get something done, you go overly impatient. Then you see the output would be not something you desired it to be. So it's not just your mindset. You need to really practice it. You need to first understand why you do arnis. You need to understand the techniques. You need to understand what are the skills you need to do, and you need to analyze the body movements of each time the person does in any arnis. And I guess another one is arnis is more on self-defense, and in self-defense you also require your strength. So if you don't have physical asset, so it's gonna be very hard to protect yourself, to be able to prepare your body so that when the time comes that you need to protect yourself, you have enough power to do so. Yeah. And yeah, that's all. Thank you very much.
Arnis is a fascinating lesson since it teaches us how to recognize all of the attacks and blocks in order to defend ourselves. Arnis is difficult at first, but I've gotten used to it. Many things had been tough to me at Arnis, and it had helped me become more conscious of myself and become a knowledgeable thinker. With Arnis, I learned how to be patient and disciplined. I have to be patient in order to implement methods since mastering the exercises takes time. The martial arts sport also requires courage, strength, and work.
Most important thing I took away from this subject was the importance of using our knees in the future because of its power to defend us, since it is a sort of martial art that can be used for self-defense. That is really helpful for us in the future.